The end is here, and it's time to say goodbye to a classic Battlefield experience. So be sure to like the video, subscribing is great as well. That's right, we're here to say goodbye to Battlefield 1943, which will be sunset and or shuttered on December 8th, 2023. It is an experience you will no longer be able to play, an experience you'll be no longer able to have, because even though, it'll be like delisted and shut down, the servers will literally be gone. And since this is a multiplayer only game, you will just no longer be able to experience what this has to offer. And that is a bit of a shame. I mean, the game definitely has been out for a long time. You could definitely say its prime has gone by, but it still enjoys decently healthy lobbies over weekends and people that still like it. And it is a bit of a shame that we have to say goodbye to this game, which I do also have an extended stream. If you want kind of more gameplay, you can go and find that and, get a deeper, more casual look at it if you would so like to. Just thought I'd mention that. So let's go a little bit over the history and the style and the fun that is Battlefield 1943. So obviously this game is basics. You got a few classes, you got a few different types of vehicles, you got a few different maps, and it's very straightforward, classic, truest Battlefield gameplay that was available for the Xbox Live Arcade and the PlayStation Network, which, kind of released for Xbox Live Arcade on July 8th, 2009, and the 9th for the PlayStation, so like the day after. And at that time, the 360 arcade was sort of growing, if that makes sense. Like, these digital-only titles were sort of just kind of kicking off. So at the time, it was amazing to have basically what felt like a full kind of Battlefield experience in the form of an arcade game. It was crazy. We really didn't have anything like this, and it was kind of just wild to experience something, because we were kind of at the height of the bad companies, and we were like, oh, more Battlefield on console is a really great thing. More variety, more options. It was a lot of fun to play, I guess you would say, alone with randoms or with friends. I spent quite a lot of time playing this with some buddies, and I actually have all the achievements, which I'll show off in a sec here, but trying to get an enemy kill if I could, just so you guys kind of think I'm halfway decent at this. But yeah, I actually did get all of the achievements. There was only 200 gamer score, because arcade games were a little bit different back in the day. I got my last achievement for 100 matches in 2014. My first one for 2009, right off the bat. Actually, hilarious is that. Huh. That's funny, July 13th. So, yeah, we jumped right on this one to play. It was a great time. We have Wake Island here, which is a classic. Basically, they gave us a classic selection of maps from the original. And 1943 just kind of built off of, the legacy of the franchise, while also offering some of the more modern things, such as, the destruction, and that was always really, really cool. And it's just kind of a crazy, fun, exciting game that I think offered a lot of action. Oh jeez. Run! And you can blow up the trees, and it looked pretty good for its time. I mean, nowadays it's pretty jagged around the edges, and it's not necessarily a super fluid sort of, high performance type game, but it really is still kind of a special time capsule of Battlefield. I'd love if they would do something like this again. Because, I mean, oh, that was terrible. They do obviously have, the Portal in 2042 and stuff, but I don't think it still kind of captures the magic and the fun of this one as specific at its time. It was really quite something for a particular era, right? It was definitely the smaller digital experience in a time where I think a lot of companies were sort of experimenting with the whole digital concept, what games you could release, how big games could be. And it was impressive. It really genuinely was impressive for its time. I'd actually love to see if this, could ever have been sort of like resolution scale or something, would have been really nice to see this one cleaned up. Just because it had, as I mentioned, kind of those effects and stuff of the modern battlefields at that time, but still really lend itself back to more traditional games. And wow, I'm having a hard time getting like any kills going. It's actually driving me crazy. There was also a pretty cool, due to the success of this game, kind of update to it. An assist? Are you kidding me? Oh, the bombing runs were great too. You get in there and you go like a little bomb run over everything. It was nice. But yeah, there was air superiority, which was a kind of extra mode in the menu you could do where it was just the planes. And a lot of folks actually really do kind of stand by the planes in this one as being some of the best, if not like the best, flying stuff of the franchise. And that was a mode one of my buddies just spent a ton of time on, was just doing the planes and just having fun blasting stuff. Like, it's really kind of crazy playing this now, because I remember just being, you know, blown away that we got something like this back in the day. And then, you know, now it's at the end of its time is sort of kind of wild. It's just crazy to say goodbye to something, right? Like, you get, I don't know, almost used to it. It's not something I play all the time, but it is something where it was nice that there was an idea occasionally if I wanted to kick back and get some nostalgia that I could jump in here. But, you know, things aren't forever for video games. You know, they definitely have time spans. They definitely have, you know, specific eras that they were part of, and, you know, as I said, nothing does last forever, even if the idea of digital content maybe is supposed to. But yeah, you know, I will say though, compared to a lot of other, you know, even EA franchises, I think 1943 has really carried through for quite a long time. I mean, it was literally like we're playing this on the Series X here. So it lasted a few generations, at least on the Xbox side of things. Which, to some degree, should be applauded, that it's, you know, it is kind of amazing that something like this even lasts that long. But it is a shame to see it kind of disappear. I remember some fun memories. I definitely don't think it would necessarily have gotten too many new players over time, but, you know, it definitely was, I think, a bit of a worthwhile experience. It would be cool if this is still somehow functional when it's gone, but I mean, without the online servers, and yeah, it was an online game, so it's basically just forgotten unless there's some sort of, I guess you would say, emulation type effort or something down the road. But yeah, I'd say this one's basically a goner. So you're experiencing some of the last, at least in the twilight days of the 1943 experience, which is just crazy. And I'm glad we got to do it with Wake Island here. This one's always a great one. Got these intense fighter aces. Some of these guys are like really intensive about the fighter plane action, which is kind of annoying to deal with. We got a whole gang, we're driving along. It felt much more intense too back in the day. I don't know how to describe it, but like, you know, now the player sizes are kind of quaint. We also don't have necessarily full lobbies, right? So it's gonna feel a little bit different too. But I think for the arcade and the size of Battlefield games we were getting at the time, this was really, really crazy. At least the action felt like it was along those lines. Huh. Yeah, 24 players on the map. Wake Island, Guadalcanal, and Iwo Jima. And then players received access to an additional Coral Sea map for 43 million kills. Which is kind of a lot of kills to get, you know, especially in that amount of time. And then the maps always kind of like featured a big aircraft carrier thing. Why aren't we driving? Oh, we're still going. So you like would spawn, and you saw that at the beginning of the game, you spawn on the aircraft, and you kind of go onto the island, and you take the conquest position points. And okay, it is actually kind of hard to shoot. I'm just gonna get killed. Yeah, I'm just gonna be the one that dies. Should saw that coming. Report from the front. Dying a lot here. Look how embarrassing this is for me. But at least we're having fun. What if I could go get that tank over there? That'd be kind of cool. So you kind of see a little bit of car action. I'm trying to show you off a bunch of different gameplay elements of this one. There's some anti-air stuff. Yeah. Really, really quite cool. I think this one had, as of like May 10th, May 2010. Don't know why I read that as May 10th, maybe because I'm just not used to thinking about times that old. Well over 1.5 million copies sold, so it was, I would say for an arcade stuff, pretty successful game. What a cool time capsule, honestly. It genuinely is, like, such a cool experience just to be in here playing it and having fun. Change the cameras. Yeah, I'm mostly just trying to think back to, like, the memories of battling on this one with some pals and just having some good action and being like, oh, new battlefield. It felt like we kind of got stuff a bit quicker back then, which we really did. There was, you know, games were releasing quite a lot more often. And I think this one was kind of sandwiched in a really good time. Where it was, you know, we're always craving some kind of new multiplayer experience. And then we can show off the destruction here too with the tank. Like, that was so cool, right? Because that would have been an evolution from older Battlefield stuff, was just coming in here, taking that Bad Company level of destruction and applying it to, like, these classic levels. It's very, very cool. I always loved that about Battlefield. The fact that, like, if there was somebody hiding behind a wall, you could just, you know, take out the wall. Trying to blow up that silly explosive there. I guess we're going. Oh no, he's left me. All right, you enjoy the anti-air. What a cool experience, and it vibes pretty well. You know, like the lighting and everything like that. It's got like a nice warm sort of glow going on with it. I love it. Great little Battlefield experience. Although I can definitely feel that this map is, and most of the maps in this one, like, they work, but I definitely do feel they are geared more for larger player experiences. And we're almost, like, not fully taking advantage of things. I do want to mention, I am supposed to be a max level. And last time I left this game and came back, my level's, like, low. But, you know, you can see that I have all the achievements. I was literally a maxed out level during my stream of this one, so it's a bit weird to see my kind of staggered reset. It must be a server thing, but I mean, who cares at this point, right? I mean, it's gonna be gone soon, so at the end it doesn't even really matter. Oh, we should go do the boat part. The boat part was really cool. I remember awkwardly sometimes having to swim, but you can, like, suicide if you you know, have that happen to you. But yeah, you get on the boats and you can go, like, storm the islands and stuff. It was a really, really cool Battlefield game. It really was. Yeah. And then I guess they canceled the PC version in favor of doing Battlefield 3, which probably really, really kills this experience. I hate these planes. Really, really is annoying. But yeah, that's kind of funny. Oh, I guess for other context, Frostbite 1.5, which is a bit of an oldie at this point. Like, Frostbite, the engine has changed quite a bit over the years. And yeah, it never really got to leave the consoles. And that's probably what was the doomsday for this one, is being stuck on consoles. Huh. Such a bit of a shame for sure, actually. Let's capture this flag. As this is something that would have, I think, PC-wise, probably would have actually been something that could have had better longevity to it. I just get smoked at this. I don't know why. It's just like, well, I mean, they're all, like, max level and stuff, and, you know, just, like, ill-prepared for that kind of thing. Take a plane. That also makes it slightly hard to get into, is when you've got really, really intensive players going off against you. Room. 100, well over 100 matches of this. That's wild, isn't it? Because that's a lot of time to put into something that's like 3 maps, right? I remember that achievement taking forever to get. It was a literal grind. Oh, come on! You're here too? Like, could I... could I get, like, a little bit of a break, other team? Like, honestly? Like, the match just started. And we literally can't get anything. Like, that is so frustrating. Usually pretty decent at Battlefield games, too. So good riddance 19. I'm just kidding. What's next? The planes are gonna come, like, bomb, shoot, run me? Fighter ace in the sky. It's really quite cinematic, though. I think some of the later Battlefields had that, but some of them I think kind of lost that, where it's sort of this action happening every few steps or something like that, or something cool to see every few steps, even as a multiplayer experience. So that's kind of really cool. Okay, here we go. We should maybe have the advantage on the guy that's here. You've got to be kidding me. Can I catch a break, please? Yeah, enemy soldier that I'm literally doing everything I can to, that's not right. Y button, there we go. Finally! I also remember camping out the air raid things for when somebody would leave, and then you could come and get them. Yeah, because you go in the big air raid battles, and you fly over the island to drop the bombs, and then... yeah, someone would just be sitting there kind of waiting. This was always such a cool thing, doing the bombing run. I don't remember it being so common, though. I remember we would just kind of camp this out and just do some mad, like, kills off of this thing. It really is just kind of simplistic, you know what I mean? There's no extra sort of things you have to get. There's no pressure on anything. It's just classic good Battlefield. I'm gonna shoot down a little bit lower so that maybe I get two guys down there. Please, one of those guys, two of those guys, yeah! Beautiful. Wow, that was a terrible grenade. That was an absolutely horrible grenade. I'm glad I'm finally getting some kills, though. Oh, come on. Not like the whole Thompson. Their squad's really depleting because people are having a hard time getting the kills going, which, you know, makes sense to me, right? That was one problem with the older games. You get, like, lopsided lobbies and stuff, and people kind of, like, give up really easily. Anyways, it was kind of just nice to keep playing this a little bit before it's gone. I do ponder if over time I'll just kind of forget about it because, you know, you just won't be able to play it, right? So then it just kind of gets forgotten until someone brings it up and you'd be like, oh, I remember that game. But the fact that it lasted as long as it did, I think is something to applaud. Like, this is annoying, this plane. The thing is, these guys are usually pretty good too, so if you do get on, like, the anti-air, they always fly, like, too low. Or maybe not. Double kill. There's another? I just shot 2 planes down, and there's a third one? Wow, you can actually see with every death my team getting, like, smaller and smaller until there's, like, literally no one left. What a shame. Anyways, it was a lovely game. It was a great time. And it's always fun to dive into a class experience that I love and talk about it, even if it is literally for the last time. Which this is basically, yeah, this is it.